Welcome into the studio. It's Tamara Brown, Mike Ducell, and Evan Lazar. Guys, it's already week 4. How is that even possible?
Well, they played 3 games and they have 1 more, so here we are, week 4.
He had to do it.
He had to do it. The team heads to Jerry World this week. Obviously, the highlight is Zeke making his return home. Evan, coming off this big game, what do you want to see out of him?
Well, I really liked how he ran against the Jets. I thought he was decisive, thought he got downhill. I think those were some of the things that you have to do as this offensive line starts to get its footing here, is to really get those running backs downhill and not as much about the dancing in the backfield, the side to side, vertically. And I thought that he ran hard, thought he finished some runs, good power as well. Nice little cutback on a few of those that Bill Belichick pointed out. So that's what you want to see from Zeke. Now, I think the other element of this game, just quickly with him, he could be asked to chip old friend Micah Parsons a few times in this game. We'd heard about the pass blocking with Zeke when the Patriots signed him. I think this is a big, big week with number 11 coming off the edge for those backs and pass protection.
Yeah, I think you look at what the Cardinals did last week against the Cowboys, and again, you wonder, can the Patriots maybe mimic some of that? They got some explosive plays in the running game. But their quarterback, their running back, James Conner, everybody was kind of chipping in. So love to see Ramondre kind of get going. It was great to see Ezekiel Elliott find his stride last week a little bit. The coaches spoke about, we're getting to know him, we're getting to know how he works. So hopefully they can get both those guys going, because I think it could be a big key to victory if they can have some success on the ground with both of them.
I know Dak had a huge turnover with a little over 3 minutes left in the game, but what was the big difference between this Cowboys team that blew the doors off of both New York teams and then came out and lost to the Cardinals?
Well, they were, in the red zone 1 for 5. And whenever you get down there and you don't get points, that's going to kill you. They had 4 drives in the second half. All 4 of them ended inside the Arizona 10-yard line, and they only scored 6 points. 2 field goals, the turnover at the end, as you mentioned, and a turnover and downs there as well. So they got to cash in the red zone. That's where I would start if I was the Cowboys. But you look at the game in general, Mike just pointed to the running game. I think that's a great place to start. Dallas only had 8 possessions in that game against Arizona because they ran the ball so well, over 200 yards on the ground, dominated time of possession. So that really puts the emphasis on the offense to cash in when you do get down there and you do get those scoring opportunities. If you don't come away with points, you don't have a lot of possessions to make it up. So 8 possessions total, only 4 in each half. That's the way that you can really limit this Cowboys offense.
Mike, now for the Patriots defense, who, they had 2 of their guys up front go out the second half of the game. When Dallas is running the ball that well, how are the Patriots going to counter that?
Well, I think they're going to have a similar plan to what they had last week, where you saw wholesale changes kind of between the early down, where, hey, we're dedicated to stopping the run. We're going to be in our base defense. You've also got some cornerback injury issues that, helps a little bit if you're only going to play 4 defensive backs. So we'll see if those guys are able to go. I know early reports on Daniel Ekuale, not good. We're waiting to hear on Devon Godchaux at this point. So hopefully he's back in there. But I think they just have to do another solid job like they did. I loved Anthony Jennings last week getting in the game a little bit. Keon White, perhaps his role starts to increase a little bit. If these injuries do have an effect, though, it would be interesting to see Sam Roberts, Keon White, if those guys get more playing time and maybe are able to make more of an impact.
Without Diggs on the Cowboys defense, he tore his ACL. How can Mac Jones and this offense find success?
Well, I actually do think that the Cowboys secondary really felt the loss last week, and they're still trying to figure out who's going to play the opposite corner spot of Stephon Gilmore, who we're very familiar with. And there were some coverage breakdowns and busts in that secondary without Trevon Diggs. One in particular went for a huge play where they busted a coverage. So I think they're still trying to figure out the communication, who's going to play that left cornerback spot. And in general, I think that there are going to be opportunities to throw the ball on the Cowboys defense, but you got to block them up front. And that's always the big thing. And I think Mike pointed to the run game of the Cardinals, using that aggressiveness of the Cowboys front against them. Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, those guys want to get up the field. And the Cardinals were able to run the ball away from those guys, right? Invite them up the field and then kind of gash them on the ground. And that got them into some nice 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 1s, and move the chains that way. If you get into 3rd and 10, 3rd and 7+, you're going to have a really long day, because Parsons is going to come off the edge, Lawrence is going to come up the middle, and you're going to be under pressure a whole lot in this game. So you got to take the pressure off the quarterback by running the football, managing the clock, controlling down and distance, and then really playing ahead of the chains. And then I do think they're going to be able to throw on the Cowboys. I think Stephon Gilmore is a good player. I don't think this is 2019 peak Gilmore anymore. And without Diggs, there are opportunities to push the ball down the field.
Yeah, I'm just curious how it all comes together on offense. Like, who are the targets? You know, it's just been so spread out. I mean, on one hand, it's a good thing. Hey, Mac Jones is spreading it around. He doesn't have a favorite receiver. It's the open one. But I just like to see some guys start to emerge a little more. We've seen great things out of Kendrick Bourne here early in the season. Like to see that. I'd like to see a little bit more Gesicki. I think he's still an untapped kind of resource for this offense that could maybe, blossom with a little bit more attention. And of course, Pop Douglas. We're continuing to want to see him get in the game and get involved.
Those are our keys to Patriots at Cowboys in Week 4. For more previews and game coverage as we head into that game, go to Patriots.com and Patriots YouTube.